Now, you guys nowadays starting out could potentially make some serious money. So you're thinking about becoming an automotive technician. I'm Brian-esl from How-to-Automotive, and I'm going to show you exactly what it's like to be an automotive technician in 2024. So stay tuned for that. So the first thing you got to do to become an automotive technician is get your foot in the door. So one of the best ways to do that is to start in auto shop in high school. If you can take auto shop, or if you can take metal shop and welding and stuff like that in high school, you'll have a leg up when you go to apply for a job as soon as you graduate. Next, you probably want to get yourself some experience. So you want to get your foot in the door any way you can, if that's at a lube shop or if that's at the dealership as the lowest low man on the totem pole. Get your foot in the door, that way you can start working towards being an automotive technician. Once you've got your foot in the door, another thing you want to ask yourself is, what type of technician do you want to be? Do you want to be a diesel mechanic? Do you want to work on European cars or Toyotas or Lexus? You know, the field is wide open as far as what you can do in this industry. Do you want to work on 4x4s? Do you want to work on race cars? You got all these options. So once you get your foot in the door, now you put a plan together to start working towards a goal. One of the things you want to look out for is when you're getting that job is to see how efficient that shop runs. Are they using the latest technology as far as software and ordering parts and writing ROs, that type of thing? And that brings us to our sponsor of the day, Parts Tech. Parts Tech makes writing those ROs and getting those estimates ready, especially if you have to source your parts from multiple parts locations. And Parts Tech works with most management systems out there, allowing you to shop multiple vendors all from the same location. A super handy feature, especially if you don't know the name of a part, is the diagram section here. So you can click on the system and then they have multiple diagrams allowing you to narrow down the part name, and that way you can get the correct one. When writing estimates, you may come across where you can find the brake pads from one vendor, but the rotors you have to get from another vendor. So you can shop all your vendors right here from the same location. So every part that you run across that you need, you just add it to your cart, no matter what the vendor is, and it will all be in one location. Also, as you're writing the RO, the VIN number and all that stuff will be transferred over to the parts department, so that way you don't have to re-enter all that information as you're searching for your parts. It's already there. Another great feature is Parts Tech also allows you to shop tires. So if you need to get an estimate for your customer, you can shop multiple vendors and click on the tires, pull them all together in one location. So if you want to give your customer multiple options, you can do that. You can also email or text the customer with all the options right here so they can make the right decision for their car. To add Parts Tech to your shop management system, just click the link in the description of the video, or it will be pinned in the comments section of this video as well. So one of the things you're going to need to look out for is your attitude. So when you're starting out, you need people to help you, you need people to loan you tools, and you need people to mentor you. So if you go into any job with a bad attitude, you're not going to get the mentorship, you're not going to get the tools loaned to you, and you're going to have a tough time. So the first thing you need to do is check that attitude and be as respectful as you possibly can to the coworkers that you're working with. Alright, the next thing I want to bring up is, once you got a job and you're working, is to take your time. Do not be in a hurry. I've seen more people get fired or mess up cars or damage cars by going way too fast. So you got to have a good work ethic and work at a good pace, but not be so fast that you're making mistakes like leaving bolts loose, not tightening up drain plugs, those type of mistakes. And trust me, when you start working on cars, you're going to make mistakes, but you want to try to avoid as many of them as you can by working at a slow and steady pace. Now, when I say slow, I don't mean a snail's pace. I just mean not so fast that you're going to make a mistake. Alright, so now you've picked a brand of car that you want to work on, or the style of car you want to work on, or truck. Now you got your foot in the door. Now you're starting to work and starting to learn a skill. Next is to choose a path of how high up the ladder you want to go. So you can be somewhere in the middle and be very happy, and you can get a few certifications and just cruise. Or if you want to be like a master tech and learn everything, or a fabricator or anything, you may require some schooling. So you're going to need to look into some schooling. There's a lot of options out there. Some of the best options are your local community colleges. Let's talk a little bit about some of the choices you have as a technician working out there. So you can work for a dealership and you're going to be working on one brand, and you're going to get to know that car inside and out, that brand inside and out. You're going to learn all the quirks and all that stuff, and that could be an advantage. So if you can get in at a dealership and learn a particular brand inside and out, you got a leg up. On the other hand, there's the independent world where you work on whatever comes in the door. So if it's a Chevy on one day or a BMW the next, you're going to work on that. So I chose that route because that kept the workflow different. It never got stagnant. So if you work on the same brand over and over, it could possibly get a little boring. But for me, I chose the independent world where whatever came in the door is whatever I worked on. And with that said, I had to have a lot more tools than the dealership guy. So the dealership guy only works on one brand, and after you max out the tools that you need for that particular brand, you don't need to continue to keep on buying and buying and buying tools. So in the independent world, you're never stop buying tools. I've been buying tools for 30 years now. So one of the questions you may be wondering is, how much do mechanics make? Well, that ranges anywhere from $15, $16 an hour upwards of $50 an hour, depending on where you're at in the country and the skill level you have. So you can start out, you're probably going to start off around $15, maybe $17 an hour. And then you're going to work your way up as you build your skills, as you build your tools. Now, this all varies on what type of vehicles you're working on. If you're working on heavy equipment, or if you're working on cars, or you're doing paint and body, that all varies. So a little Google search in what type of work you want to do will help you narrow down exactly how much you want to get paid. So when I first started, is completely different the way it is now. You guys nowadays starting out could potentially make some serious money. When I started out, I was lucky to get $15, $20 an hour. Now it's not unheard of technicians making $35, $45, $50, even more per hour. That's just hourly paid or salary paid. And then there's the flat rate world. So if you don't know what flat rate world is if a job says it pays 1 hour to do a tune-up, and you do it in 30 minutes, you still get paid 1 hour, but if it takes you an hour and a half or 2 hours, you still only get paid the 1 hour. So if you're a very efficient worker, flat rate could work out for you, and that all has to do with how the shops are run. So you could be the best technician in the world, but if the shop is not the best shop in the world, it could be tough. So that one's a little tricky. Not everybody loves that pay scale. Some people love it, some people hate it. I particularly like it. I like it because it pushes you. If you're standing around doing nothing, you're getting paid for nothing. But if your hands are moving and you're fixing cars, then you're getting paid. One of the cool things now is a lot of shops, dealerships and stuff offer a lot of benefit packages, from healthcare, dental, vacation, signing bonuses for being hired. All kinds of stuff is available to you guys nowadays. So one of the reasons why I like being an automotive technician is not just because I get to work on cars, it's because I'm working outdoors. So, I mean, you may be in a covered building, but the doors are usually up. You still got that fresh air, that sunshine. You can still hear the sirens going down the road or the birds chirping. That outdoor feeling is a great feeling when you're working on cars. Also, when you start working on cars, you need to buy tools. And there's a lot of traps you can get into when you're buying tools, buying too many at one time, buying the wrong tool. One of the things you want to try to avoid is getting into too much debt when you're buying your tools. Buy your tools as you need them, as you grow, and then allow that stepping stone to take its natural course, and you'll be okay. When I first started becoming an automotive technician, there was only a handful of tool companies out there. Nowadays, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of tool companies out there, and you do not have to be brand loyal to just one. You can pick and choose, and I actually recommend you do that. Is have some tools from one brand and another brand, such as Snap-on or Milwaukee or Sunex or Gear Wrench. Get a variety of tools and build your collection. So I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Parts Tech. for sponsoring this video. I'm Brian-esl from How-to-Automotive. I wish you all the best of luck on your automotive careers. Thank you again for watching, and be sure to subscribe.